Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are enjoying the Porsche GT4 content. I know it's been great putting out these detailing content the past couple of weeks, but I really wanted to take the time and hop in the car, start it up, and go for a little bit of an old school style video here with a GoPro in there and just chat about the car, my initial impressions with it. I've had the car about a month now, I would say. Realistically, I've driven it maybe a couple weeks in total. The weather's on the downfall here in Pennsylvania, so we're getting to be colder weather. The Cup 2 tires on there just do not do well. If you guys are Michelin owners, know how the tires are when it gets pretty cold out. But I wanted to hop in, kind of give you guys some insight on the car, my first impressions, how it relates to my 12C, and realistically just, you know, give you guys my insights as my first Porsche car. This is my first Porsche car, my first P car, and it is a GT car. It's a GT4, and I just kind of want to talk about that, why I chose the GT4 and some of the things, and just really walk you through the car and just what I think about it. So we're gonna get the car started here, hop in, and go for a drive. My 2016 GT4, as you guys have probably known by now. I picked this up about a month ago, have spent pretty much the past couple weeks driving it around. I haven't had a chance to really push it because of the weather here in Pennsylvania, but I'm absolutely loving this car. Listen to this. It has been a joy to drive so far. I wanted to make this part of the video and just take like 5 to 6 minutes, initial impressions of the car compared to my 12C. If you guys don't know, I have a McLaren MP4-12C. Had that car 3 years, and it's a great car, phenomenal car. But, you know, this is a totally different experience for me. This is my first Porsche car, my first P car, and it's a GT car. And I have nothing but great things to say. Let me put the windows up here for you real quick. The car has been just rock solid. From the second you get in this car, it feels like something special. It's just this kind of race car. If you can see it on camera, the door pulls here, it's just very, very raw. You know what the car is. You feel what the car wants you to do the second you sit into it and the second you put it into gear. The car has just been this perfect blend of streetable, fun, sports car driving and enough kind of power and throatiness and just rawness when I want it to be. And I really can't complain. If you are looking to spend, you know, 80 grand and want like the perfect sports car, this car is it. You know, I found it hard to believe the reviews about this car, that it's just almost that perfect. And then I have one now, and it really is. The only complaint that I really will agree with all of the journalists and really anybody is the gearing. Yeah, the gearing's a little long, but, you know, you get used to it. You know, I had a little bit of questionable decision making. You know, why was I getting a manual car? I'm a PDK guy, I'm a track guy, but the throttle blipping, the auto throttle blipping in it is perfect. You know, you have the perfect amount of room to heel toe. If you don't want to heel toe, you just turn on the sport button and that throttle blips for you. And it's typical Porsche. It nails it every time. I mean, here's a 4th to 2nd. And you just dump the clutch. Like, it's perfect. And I really have to give kudos to Porsche, because this car is just, being mid-engine, is well-balanced, well-oriented. It's easy to get acquainted with what you need to do to the car. If you feel the car kind of step out, you just pedal through it, put a little throttle into it. You can easily adjust it, and it's just a really elegant but raw car. That's a good way to put it. You feel what you need to feel. The front end, very connected. The minute you want to turn in, you turn, point the car, it goes. The GT3 front end is very tactile, very good feedback compared to what I'm used to with the 12C. The 12C has that hydraulic suspension, and you really, you feel the road, but you're not as connected. And I know that was one of the biggest complaints, and that's where the 570 versus like the Super Series cars in McLaren, you know, the 570 is a traditional suspension setup, so you get that kind of familiar feedback that, you know, you're used to with a regular road car. 12C is down at Philly right now getting its annual service, and I heavily question myself at this point in time, am I going to keep the 12C? does it make sense for the thing to even come back? Because this car is just, I'm having such a blast driving it. You know what the best part is? You get into it, there's no rattles, there's no excessive anything in the car. It's exactly how it needs to be to enjoy. And I have no complaints. I really don't. You know, people are saying, well, aren't you used to not having the straight line speed? And I would say, actually, it doesn't bother me. I'm not a straight line guy. And the nice thing with the lower power level on this car is you have mechanical grip right off the bat. So you don't need to go at a high rate of speed to get aero working. And that's where, you know, McLaren's philosophy is we'll use aerodynamics, we'll use the shape of the car, we'll use that type of downforce to get the grip we need. Whereas Porsche, the philosophy is a little more, let's get that mechanical grip right off the bat. And you feel that right away. So you can push this car with the lower horsepower numbers that it has. You can stay high RPM and run this car and push it harder and be at that edge without having to worry about going to jail, and you have the grip right away. It's really that simple. And you know, the biggest question people say, well, don't you feel like you need a GT3 RS? You know, someday I will see myself in a GT3 RS. I think that's like the car for me. Even a GT2 RS if they ever drop in price, which I doubt it. But the mid-engine platform is something I'm very familiar with and I'm very used to. And we all know that Porsche leaves a lot on the table with the GT4, and they have to. They have to because of the 911 platform. They have to protect that 50-year run, that rear engine flawed design that it's not flawed now, I will say they've gotten it to work, but you know, mid-engine is the best platform for, I would say, racing, motorsport. It's the best way, in my opinion, to get the balance in a car that you need. And I think Porsche nailed it with this car. If you guys haven't seen my specifications on the car, it's PTS, paint to sample, mint green. It's one of two that I know that exists in the world. There could be more, but right now the database is two. It's got the PCCBs, so the Porsche carbon ceramic brakes, the carbon bucket seats that you guys hear. It's got the yellow accent stitching to accent the yellow brakes. Really, it's just a special car. It's got the full extended carbon package on it, which is really nice. I wanted something that was, say, fully loaded or loaded as much as I could get it, and I'm really happy with it. The car is CPO, so it's certified pre-owned, meaning I have a full 2-year full warranty extended from Porsche after my warranty expires, which hasn't even expired yet on this car, and I really have no complaints. The only thing we're going to do yet here is I got an exhaust coming from Soul Performance, and you guys can probably hear, hopefully you can, just not over my voice, but you can kind of hear with it being mid-engine, you not only get the exhaust tone, obviously, as with any car, but the engine's right here. You can hear the inner workings and hear things just working, and I forgot kind of what that's like in the 12C. You know, that car was loud and great, but you didn't really hear anything but turbo and exhaust. This is totally different. You hear just the engine revving, you hear the gear connector, the shifting, that mechanical just changing of gears, especially when the window's down. I'm gonna shut up and we'll get some nice exhaust footage here for you. Cold tires, gotta take it a little easy. This thing just revs. The brakes are just typical Porsche. If you guys have never driven Porsche brakes, pedal feel, I'd say McLaren's up there with their pedal feel too, but just the initial bite right off the bat with the carbon ceramics, just perfect. Here we go, we'll downshift into a parking lot. Perfect downshifts every time. And that's, you know, a lot of people say, well, that's cheating using the throttle blip and this and that, but you know what, when you're on the track and you don't want to worry about it, that's what you want. I'm not cool anymore because I don't have a launch control button, but you know what the launch control is? It's your left foot now. 3,600 RPM redline, and it just rips. Unfortunately, with the gearing, you never feel like you're up there, but this thing screams. We're gonna do long tube headers on it. It's gonna sound amazing. Probably keep the standard Porsche valved exhaust on there, and I'll be a happy camper. But this car is just, it's a go-kart. It really is. It's a shorter car than what my McLaren is. And with the mechanical grip that you get, it's just very familiar to a go-kart. If you guys drive go-karts, you're in a big go-kart. That's what you physically feel with the front end and the back end kind of sliding when you want it to. You just kind of throttle into it, you can control it. And it's a well done car from Porsche. I can't wait to get behind the wheel of the 718 GT4. Porsche, if you're watching, you want to let me borrow one for a couple days, it'd be great. I know a ton of you guys wanted to see what the uprights looked like other than being in my garage. So here, got the car out. Ben's gonna take some photos, but it's pretty cold out. We're running out of nice days to really drive with the tires on here. You just, they don't work in cold. But here's the wing. You guys can hopefully see it a little better. I think, again, much better. Really, really happy how it came out. I don't think I can go back to the regular uprights anymore. Ben, what do you think of the uprights?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
10 out of 10. Baby.
Yeah. It's way more aggressive. I can't go back to the other ones anymore. And I like how factory and like OEM they look. Yeah. Pretty sick. I think now's a good time to wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys are subscribed and you stay tuned, because I've got a pretty good video coming on this car about how I found it, how I got it here to me. I think you guys are going to really enjoy that video. As always, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give this video a nice big thumbs up. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram @Troy Sowers, and we'll catch you on the next one.